She is very difficult to officiate because of all of the contact that's happening around her all of the time. That being said, I was in contact with a number of WNBA coaches yesterday about this topic of the officiating in the WNBA.
After the recent controversial calls, or rather the missed calls, in the Fever vs. Sun game, it's become crystal clear the referees who are meant to protect the game might actually be putting it at risk. Lobo, a respected WNBA legend and voice, didn't hold back. She spoke out about what many in the league have been quietly discussing. The officiating is becoming a serious problem, and it's threatening both the league's growth and its integrity. This isn't just about missed whistles, it's about how the WNBA is treating its biggest star. The way Caitlin Clark has been targeted on the court sends a troubling message. If the league has learned anything from Clark's rise, it certainly hasn't shown it yet. We'll also share some encouraging news about the Fever that might mark a turning point, but it also highlights just how slow the league has been to respond to these ongoing issues. Before we jump in, go ahead and like this video, because some of these refs could definitely use a better eye for the game. And don't forget to subscribe for all the latest updates on Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever.
The nerve, the second-year player clearing out that side of the floor, shooting on Stewie, and then watch the reaction with one another. Stewie's laughing.
Caitlin Clark made a powerful statement just a few games ago when she returned to the court. She racked up 25 points in the first half alone, hitting 3 deep three-pointers in just 38 seconds. It wasn't just thrilling to watch, it reminded fans and the whole WNBA exactly who's driving the league forward.
And Cunningham is down behind the play, but they've got Caitlin Clark. Two players with incredible up. Clark, another long three.
Game spoke volumes. It showed one thing clearly. The WNBA doesn't just benefit from Caitlin Clark, it relies on her. During the 5 games she missed, the difference was hard to ignore. TV ratings slipped, social media buzz died down, and the league lost much of its national spotlight. Without Caitlin, the other headlines just didn't get the same attention.
But here we go with Caitlin Clark, singularly, being missing for the time she was gone, and ratings tanking, 50% in some cases. And then also she comes back and reminds everyone how spectacular she is. And everybody's talking about the WNBA. So if you needed to sort of have it affirmed to you that it is just her, that the singularity of her is what we are talking about and her star power, you got it with this absence and then the way she came back.
After weeks of slipping ratings and mounting criticism, Caitlin Clark's comeback didn't just lift the Fever, it gave the entire WNBA a major boost. Her game against the New York Liberty drew a peak audience of 2.8 million viewers, making it one of the most watched WNBA games ever. To put that in perspective, the NHL's Stanley Cup Finals averaged around 2.5 million viewers. While hockey and basketball aren't exactly the same, the key takeaway is clear. Caitlin Clark just pulled in more viewers than a major men's championship. That's huge. Strangely, this breakthrough moment seems to have flown under the radar of WNBA leadership, but Rebecca Lobo, Olympic gold medalist, Hall of Famer, and one of ESPN's most respected voices, definitely took notice. Before we dive into her thoughts on the officiating, listen to how she breaks down the real impact of Clark's return.
Rebecca, tell me, what does Clark's return mean for the WNBA?
Well, I mean, it means a lot more people are paying attention once again. We know how much Caitlin drives ratings. We know how much Caitlin drives attention on the WNBA. And for her to come back and do it in that way was just...
Here's what Rebecca Lobo had to say. People are watching again. It's a simple statement, but it speaks volumes. If people are tuning in again, that means they stopped watching for a while. And we all know when that happened, when Caitlin Clark was sidelined. But Lobo didn't stop there. She went on to explain why fans came rushing back the moment Clark returned to the...
Sitting there at the end of the first quarter when she had that 38-second stretch where she drained deep three after deep three after deep three, I was just sitting there thinking, I've been around this league since 1997. I have never seen that in a WNBA game. Have we seen players go on runs? Of course we have, but not like that. Not where a couple of the three-pointers are from 30-plus feet. It was an exhibition by her.
The court. Next voice, here's the key point. these weren't just regular jump shots or deep threes. Caitlin Clark was hitting shots from way beyond the arc, from near the logo, like it was nothing. Very few players in the world can pull that off consistently, and that's exactly why fans can't look away. Even Natasha Cloud, who's been openly critical of Clark's fanbase, had to admit the truth. You have to guard Clark the second she crosses half court. That kind of threat isn't normal. And if you want to hear it from an expert, just ask Rebecca Lobo.
It was just ridiculous. It's not often that you're watching the WNBA or that I'm watching it and I'm like, wow, I've just never seen this before.
Of this makes what's been going on not just since Caitlin's return, but really since last season seriously worrying. It's not just about missed calls or tough defense anymore. There's a clear pattern emerging, so obvious that even respected voices in the WNBA, like Rebecca Lobo, are speaking up. That game against the Sun? It should have been a major wake-up call for the whole league.
This angle is wild, folks. There's the eye gouge. Watch Mabry. Boom! I mean, come on.
Lacey Sheldon and Marina Mabry basically took turns going after Caitlin Clark during the game, first with a swipe to the face, then a hard body check that knocked her to the floor. And somehow, neither of them got ejected. Sure, Caitlin was talking some trash to JC earlier, that's part of the game. But trash talk doesn't give anyone a free pass to get physical. You can't just knock down the league's biggest star, like it's a wrestling match, and expect to walk away without consequences. Even the commentators were clearly shocked. You could hear it in their voices. They were expecting an ejection, and they weren't the only ones surprised. Coaches, analysts, fans, and players all around the league were stunned at how the officials handled it.
Hey, we would have been crashing that team.
Courtney, if somebody ever tackles you like that,
Nobody would ever tackle me like that. They would play with Bridget like that, and then we would have to like take it up there.
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying.
Nobody would ever play with me like
If that ever happened, you better crash out behind me, because I'm crashing out behind you.
See,
We can share the same jail cell.
Of course, the swipe to Caitlin's face and the shove that knocked her down are the moments everyone saw and that quickly went viral. But this wasn't just a random flare-up. The tension had been building all game, and the refs kept letting things slide. It was only a matter of time before everything spilled over.
This is JC Sheldon right here with an entire handful of Caitlin Clark's shoulder and bicep, and she's twisting it. Okay? I mean, this is wild. Here's the zoomed out look, the snapshot. I mean, this league does not have control of its players.
Tension went from simmering to boiling fast, and Stephanie White was clearly furious after the game. You could see it in how she carried herself even before she spoke. She took a deep breath and then didn't hold anything back. She said exactly what was on her mind.
You know, the game has changed so much. Players are faster, they're better, they're bigger, they're stronger. You know, they're as good as they've ever been. They're as athletic as they've ever been. The game is fast now. Things are happening quickly. Everybody's getting better, except the officials.
It was about as tough a critique of the refs as you can get without naming names. The message was clear. The team is getting better, but the officials aren't keeping up. It's hard to hear, but it's exactly how many players, coaches, and fans feel. And here's the important part: this isn't just about the game against the Sun. It's been happening all season. Missed calls, confusing calls, and players like Caitlin Clark being treated differently, not in a way that keeps her safe.
What was that play? Oh my god, this is rigged. This is rigged. She got yanked, fell on her hip. That's a hack! That's a hack! That's a hack! Oh my god, they hacked the one upon her and they hacked Caitlin Clark. They are both hacks. They are both hacks. They hacked Fever twice, and then there was a phantom foul called on Sabrina Ionescu.